But more importantly, if you have been around the internet for any amount of time, you will have seen, especially over the last 4 years, 5 years, um, the the growth in all these videos about dopamine detoxes and stuff like that. And this is all good. Um, need to find a charger here. This is all good stuff. Okay. Now, the thing is, as with most things, people tend to make this stuff very complicated and hard to make practical, right, in real life. So, the reason that this is, I've been thinking about the dopamine stuff for a while, and in relation to, you know, it's very rare that we actually don't have enough time to do the stuff that we want, accomplish the things that we want. More often, it's the fact that our time is being used in other areas that are not getting us closer to what we want, or actively getting us further away. And we just kind of justify these things, or we're not even aware of them really. So for me, there's a lot of projects that like I have my hands full with all the different businesses, my clients, trying to make good content for you guys, and the things that me and my wife want to do, and so on and so forth. A lot of stuff. And I find myself, I'm like, oh man, I don't have, where's the day go? But then if I'm honest and I look at my phone, I'm like, I don't even need to look at my phone. I know that my brain is hooked on just opening the phone, and then next thing you know, 10 minutes goes by, 20 minutes goes by. On those rare occasions, it could be much longer, right? But the point is, we are getting some type of good feeling when we're getting a payoff. You open that phone, you start scrolling through stuff, and it's like, it's very difficult to stop. So with that in mind, Dr. Andrew Huberman, I joke about these guys because like they make things so complicated, but also there are good things that they share, very good things. And then it's, I feel like people like myself, we get simpler and more practical. But he was talking about, the two types. You don't want your dopamine from passive things, right? So like the passive consumption of social media. You want your dopamine, you want that payoff from active things, meaning you are doing something, engaging in the real world, that then has a payoff. So I'll give you a couple of examples. For me, one of the biggest dopamine hits for me is if I go play basketball. Huge dopamine payoff, and that is a very engaged and active activity. If I go to the stores and I'm working and I'm interacting and I'm like figuring out problems, right? I have to do stuff. That's a huge dopamine payoff, right? Because at the end of the day, that results in more revenue for me, more money for me, right? So anyways, all of this to say, I have been thinking, I'm like, man, how do I help my people start switching from that passive dopamine to active dopamine? And how can we do this in a way? Obviously, we all communicate through our phones, so we still have to use our phones. But is there a challenge we can do? Can we put together a like a 30-day challenge. And so that's what I've been thinking about for my all my clients. And so I've been brainstorming. I put together a few things, but we're gonna do it. I don't have all the details for you yet, but if you are interested, you're more than welcome to leave a comment, or find me on Instagram and shoot me a DM, and just say I want to join in the dopamine detox challenge. And our goal is this: we want to take back the driver's seat. We want to take back our time. Like, there's so much cool shit that we could do, every one of us, right? And this goes, there are several layers of psychology here, and meaning and things like that. And so we got to be very, very conscious of, like, what do I want to do, and not beat ourselves up like, okay, I used the phone, I scrolled for 45 minutes, blah blah blah. Yes, okay, but instead of feeling bad about ourselves, and then you go down that spiral, right? You start going down that negative spiral where you then you do other things that make you feel bad, and now you feel bad because you did another thing, and then so it spirals. We want to interrupt that and make it fun and enjoyable, and start chipping away at this, like, hold that our phones have on us. And I will not lie to you, this is a tricky thing, because we use our phones for so many things, and so the same little window that I use to conduct all these business things is the same little window that has the access to endless scrolling videos and funny memes. And, like, hey, I love a funny meme, as much as the next guy, but I want to build something and do something meaningful in my life that's fun, that's enjoyable. And so I have to make some sort of adjustment. I think a good way to kind of look at it is like, there are some people who they cannot have one drink. They are consumed and controlled by alcohol. And as much as they want to try to stop, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna sit and have one drink, and we're gonna have a conversation. Why do I need to be controlled by alcohol? I can have one drink and it doesn't happen. Like, they just can't stop. And there are other people who maybe drink once every few months, and it's not even a bit, like, they're not even trying to control it. It's just, that's not what happens. So this is part of the puzzle that I'm trying to figure out, and make it more, like, real and practical instead of theoretical, right? And so, like, we want to take that same philosophy and be like, hey, I can use my phone for what I want, for what I need to do and what I would like to do, because this is a powerful tool. Even me being able to speak to any person through the internet is massive. I work with all my clients through my phone, and I'm not going to be like, I don't have to open up Instagram and scroll through funny memes of Fetty Wap all day, right? As great as that is, but so that's kind of that's kind of the plan. Like I said, find me on Instagram if you want to participate. I want to keep it small. I was probably going to do like 5 to 10 people. Once I get the clear, like, protocol and, like, how we're going to go about it, I got to put together some of the background context of like the science and everything so it makes sense to people. But if you are interested, find me on Instagram, shoot me a DM or message me or leave a comment or whatever. But yeah, the last thing I'll say, we get dopamine from passively scrolling, but if we turn it around into like every time we have an opportunity, okay, I'm looking for dopamine by going to this thing. What about if I create something, or what if I start walking and get 1,000 steps in 10 minutes, and then I post in our group? Now I'm getting dopamine from doing something that is active, that is contributing to what I want. The other thing that I told the people or my clients was like, I want to know everybody who has a kettlebell, because a kettlebell is a simple tool that, we can use to also get some active dopamine. So that's it. I'm gonna go get this coffee, meet up with this guy. We got some business to discuss, but I'll see you guys later. Maybe we'll get a bonus session in later. But let me know what you think about the dopamine stuff.